Right now, my voice has a clear, natural kind of voiceover sound, and I want you to concentrate on the tone of my voice right now and see how it is modified and slowly shifts
into something that's a little bit more evil or deranged or possibly even demented.
Today we're going to have a little bit of fun. It's a Halloween-themed Lenny B walkthrough video. I'm going to show you exactly how to come up with that sound for your voice using only Adobe Audition stock plugins. Maybe you could send a nice little Halloween-style message to one of your buddies. We're going to walk through exactly how to do it coming up in this video. So Halloween season is in full swing. The decorations are up. All the kids are already wearing their costumes to school, into the supermarket. And I thought it would be fun to do something a little different. Now, usually I am an audio engineer helping YouTubers and voiceover artists and anyone basically recording their voice onto a microphone. One of the things I do is help people sound better. I improve the sound of their microphone. I do custom processing presets to make people sound professional when they're recording audiobooks or creating content for their own streams or their own channels. And usually it's to improve the quality. So this is a little different. I thought it'd be fun, a little novelty for this time of the year. So we're doing something creative, right? We're just creating an effect for this evil sounding pumpkin demonic voice. I think that's what I'm going to call it. So I thought the first thing we should do is I want to play for you just the raw file. So this is me reading my AI-generated Halloween poem. I want you to see how I over-accentuate the consonants and slow down, and I'm really overdoing it so you understand what I'm saying, because when you add this type of extra effect to a voice, I don't want you to lose the message, right? I don't want you to lose what I'm saying, which is, it can happen easily when you're adding this many effects at this level. So I want you to just point your ears to that. Let me play you the audio file, unprocessed. So this is without any effects, and listen to how I'm over-enunciating everything as a voiceover artist. Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Its jagged smirk whispers, "Your soul's mine. You'll learn." I sound like I haven't reached puberty yet. It's like my voice is so high compared to what it is after the effect. All right, let's go and start manipulating this and let's see how we can apply some evil to this voice. I'm going to begin with the pitch, and this is really the majority of where this comes from. If you go to Adobe Audition and you go under Time and Pitch and you click on the Pitch Shifter, and this is the effect that comes up. And I'll remind you again, these are all stock plugins, the ones that I'm using today on this effect. These are all stock plugins that you could find in Adobe Audition. So we're going to work with semitones, and I believe a semitone would be like a half step on a piano from D to C sharp, or for C sharp to C. These are the half steps, and I'm going to go 5 semitones. The reason why I like 5 is because if you go more than that, and I'll show you, I'm going to overdo it. I'll go too low and too high so you can hear what the difference is, because it's fun. It's a real cool toy to play with. If you go lower than 5, I found that it just becomes, it's not intelligible. You can't really understand. It gets a little too modified, and you lose the message, which, you know, if you're doing a style like this and you're coming up with something creative, you still want people to understand what you're saying. Let's listen to it when it's all the way at 12 semitones low.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer.
It's cool. It's fun. And now let's go all the way to 10 semitones. I'll sound like a chipmunk.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns.
Like I said, it's a fun toy. So we'll put it back at 5. I think 5 is a good way to still get the evil, but also still have it intelligible so you can understand what I'm saying. And you'll notice I'm going to keep it on high precision, and I'll keep this use appropriate default settings here. Let's see what that sounds like.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Its jagged smirk whispers, Your soul's mine.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to also point your attention to my recording level. And if you look at my audio capture here, I'm peaking at about -6. And if you're somebody who watches my YouTube channel, you've seen some of my videos. When I talk about a recording level, when you're capturing voice, I like to hit -6. I think it's a really good recording level. It's a great exposure. There's several reasons why. I have a recording levels training course that is really valuable. If you've ever wondered, or you feel like it's kind of a mystery, what's the best recording level when I'm recording my voice? There's reasons to do it for quality. There's reasons to do it down the production path if you're going to add this to other pieces of audio, like put music behind it, which I'm actually going to do here in this video. I've put music behind what I'm doing. So there's several reasons, but I'll put the link to that course in the description of this video. Optimum Recording Levels for Voiceover. It's a great course. Okay, the next effect that I'm going to apply here is a little bit of delay. Let's go into the echo. And this is, I really like this echo because it has an EQ on just the echo itself. Now, so this is the echoes that are happening. I want to make sure we are not amplifying. It's lowering the low frequencies from 86 hertz up to about 700 hertz, and also the really high stuff I want to take off too. I don't want it to be very I don't want the high frequencies on the echo. So really, it's just that mid range is what we're echoing. And let's listen to what that sounds like.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns.
When you start using delay, especially in this situation here, you're going to notice that things are going to start to get wide. The material on the right side, or the right speaker, or the right channel is different from what's on the left channel. That is happening in the bouncing of the echoes. And I should point this out when we're talking about stereo versus mono. Usually when I'm optimizing a voice recording, it's a mono file. It's a single mono file, and we're working with EQ and compression. But this is kind of a creative project and something kind of special that we're doing. So I just want to point out that my original file that I recorded is in stereo, and then we are going into some stereo effects because I think that adds to the coolness, that the width and the spookiness and the creepiness of this whole thing is like it's all over the place, and it's not normal. That's the point, right? So that stereo separation is definitely one of the things I am looking forward to utilizing to make this more evil, I think. I'm going to pull back this feedback a little bit so it doesn't go on as long, and also the echo level, which is the volume of just the echo itself. I'm going to pull that back a little bit, and let's hear what it sounds like.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Its jagged smirk.
You know, I want the echo to not be too overpowering. It's so easy to overdo effects like echo and reverb, which we're going to do next. We'll talk about reverb. But, you know, something sounds like it has an effect on it, especially if it's next to something that doesn't. So, you know, that's a really good way to like measure, gosh, how much reverb, how much echo should I put on this? I'll go back to the subject. I want the subject of this piece to be, this is psychology around adding effects on audio. This is my take on it. I think I should share this with you. You know, I want the message, I want the voice, and the vibe. The vibe is kind of the effect, right? It's the decoration. The vibe, the echo, and the pitch is extra. But really, the subject is the voice and the message of the voice, and everything else is kind of the color that's added to it, right? So I don't want the echo to take away from the message. It's cool. We can have it prevalent. We can have it up front. It could be definitely there. I just don't want it to overshadow. So that's kind of the balance that I'm going for. I know that's a lot, and it's deep to think about. Like, what are you talking about? Just put a little echo on it. I get it, but then you've got this whole spectrum of how much and when and where and in what frequencies. So I just want to share with you that I'm always focused on the subject and not overpowering the subject. I mean, I think that's the mark of a good photograph, or it's the mark of a good movie, or it's the mark of a good story. You always know what the subject is. Everything else is adding emotion to that story. And the same goes for this type of thing when you're adding effects to a creative project.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns.
This is also a good way to measure that. I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to turn it off again. This is just the echo. I want you to notice it enough to where you only miss it when it's gone. That's a good amount of effect in a situation like this.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Its jagged smirk whispers, "Your soul's mine. You'll learn."
So you kind of miss it when it's gone. I think that's a good level. We may go back and kind of mess with that a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is add just a touch of reverb. Let's go for the convolution reverb. I'm going to go memory space, and we'll go, let's see, let's go massive cavern. So I'm probably going to go for a really long kind of a tail. But again, not up front. I want to have it back in the mix.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Its jagged smirk whispers, "Your soul's mine. You'll learn." Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Its jagged smirk whispers, "Your soul's mine."
Okay, I like that. It's adding something. I may back off a little bit afterwards, and I will also mention this. We're gonna put a little bit of multiband compression on here to bring all of the frequencies up and in front. And I'll tell you this, I'll probably put this reverb after, and I may put the echo after the compression, because you could see in this situation that my echo and my reverb are really in the background. But what a compressor is going to do, and a multiband compressor is going to bring those even louder. And I don't want that. I want them to be in the back. I want them to be effects, not any part of the subject. So I might actually add them after the compression. We might move things around a little bit. So now, just before we do any kind of multiband compressing or limiting, I want to add one more cool little effect. It's going to be in the modulation section, and under modulation, it's called a flanger.
Under a sickly moon, under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Its jagged smirk whispers, "Your soul's mine. You'll learn."
A flanger in this situation separates the signal and changes the rate of only one of those copies. And in this situation, they're both panned. One is on the left side, one is on the right side. So, it actually modulates. So it's going to give us this washing kind of phase shifting flangery sound, and it's just cool. It's just another one of those effects, and it's fun to play with. But for this particular situation, I want to use it again pretty lightly. And what's really cool, in some situations, if I really wanted to go, if I wanted to go deep on this, I think towards the end of what I'm saying here, I would maybe automate this dry wet to put a ton of flanger just on that one word, on that one intense phrase here when I say,
"Your soul's
mine." When your soul's mine. I would, you can automate any of these things in Adobe Audition. I'll illustrate what that automation would sound like here.
Its jagged smirk whispers, "Your soul's mine. You'll learn."
pushed it way too much there. You could see how it's easy to go overboard, and then you lose the clarity of what that message is. So I think maybe half of that. But I want to illustrate it for you because it's cool. You know, you've probably heard these effects before in different situations, in different movies and creative things or whatever. But they're all here in Adobe Audition, which is really cool, and they're toys that you can play with. So at the least here, mess with them and just kind of have fun. The last thing I'm going to do is add that multi-band compressor, and I'm going to put it in the broadcast. And that's a nice, even type of push that it's going to just make everything louder. It splits it up into 4 frequency bands and compresses them individually. Let's listen to what it sounds like with the multi-band compressor. I'm going to keep the multi-band compressor at the end of the chain here, but I think what I want to do is go back and take the reverb and the echo, and I'm going to put them after the multi-band compressor and listen to the difference. This helps the reverb and the echo to be not as upfront. It's another good question. You know, does the order of your plugins matter? Absolutely. They all kind of build on each other. So when you put them in different orders, it's going to give you a different outcome. This is a good illustration. So at the current level, listen to the prominence in this production of the EQ and the reverb when they are before the multi-band compressor. So basically, the echo and that reverb are getting compressed.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. It's under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. I
think that is a little bit more clear. Not a huge difference, but I think the EQ and the reverb aren't as prominent, and I think the message stays more clear. I prefer this particular way to do it, but I'll tell you what, you know, this is fun. So there's absolutely no wrong answer. Whatever you think sounds good is the right answer. This is art. We are painting. We are just kind of having fun with all these effects. To me, that's what was the draw to audio, is all these toys that you can play with and create things that no one's ever heard before, or you've never heard before. You're creating something completely new. So, you know, I'm giving you my suggestions and the reasons behind my suggestions as I would be creating something for mass consumption. But there's no wrong answer. That's the cool part of all this, right? These are toys. It's fun to do something creative. Let's listen to the whole thing from the beginning to the end.
Under a sickly moon, the pumpkin's leer burns. Its jagged smirk whispers, "Your soul's mine. You'll learn."
I'm going to save this session and have it available in a blog post, and I'll put the link to that blog post in the description of this video. So if you're working with Adobe Audition or you've got the program, you can open up this session and you can copy this specific preset. But I suggest you mess with it, move the order around, turn things up, turn things down. You can't break anything. If you have any questions about what we've done here or different ways you want to modify the sound of your voice or improve the quality of your voice if you are speaking to an audience online or whatever, that's what I do. I'd love to help you. Leave your questions in the comment section of this video. And remember,
I am about to overdose on Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and other types of chocolate over the next several weeks. Happy Halloween!